And once you've done that, leave them there, come on in. Hi guys, and welcome to this video diary practice with my under-9 girls. This is our second practice back. We had one last week, but I didn't want to record it because I wanted to make it less about the coaching and more about the girls just being able to play, just being able to socialise with each other, and just being able to enjoy being back at football again. They've had 3 months off due to lockdown restrictions. It's their first practice back. We just kept it game based, 3v3s, then going into 6v6, nothing else was needed. Today we're going to keep it game based, which is something I'm going to be trying to do until the end of the season. So we're going to start with a warm-up, and then we're going to go into a 2v2 plus 1 game where the players are going to play 2v2 and they're going to have 2 goals to score in, and behind the 2 goals is going to be a sweeper for each team. Now when the sweeper moves behind one of those 2 goals, that goal can't be scored in. So what I'm going to be looking for from the girls is that ability to recognise that, turn and then attack the other goal. Kind of like switching the play. Also, it's a case of awareness, because I want to recognising when there's pressure on one side and when the free space is available on the other for them to attack, whether that be with a turn and a dribble, whether that be with a pass to their teammate. After that, we're going to progress into a 2v2 game with rush goalkeepers with just 1 goal to finish off with. The reason why I'm going small-sided is to make sure they're getting the touches on the ball, make sure they're improving their technical skills, mostly due to having all that time off. And also we did some Zoom practices, so I want to see if the players who took part in those Zoom practices over lockdown can use the moves that they worked on. From a coaching point of view, I'm going to be trying something different today. I'm not really going to be stepping in and stopping the practice and speaking to them as a group. I might highlight a couple of positive moments of play, but mostly, if I've got anything to say, it's going to be to the individual. So I'm going to pull them to one side, ask them a couple of questions, and see what solutions they come up with based on the questions that I ask. That's going to allow the game to keep flowing. It's a bit of a windy, cold day, so the other players are not going to have to stand and listen. And it also means the players that I am speaking to are getting that individual attention that I've found really works for the players in the past. I'm looking forward to seeing how the session goes, so let's dive right in. What we're going to do today is something similar to last week, so it's going to be very game based. Okay, so we're going to do a quick warm up. We're then going to go into a 4-goal game, all right, with a certain ruling, and then we're going to finish with two smaller games. Okay, the reason why we're doing smaller games, I want you to get plenty of touches of the ball. I don't want people just standing still. I want everyone involved nice and good in that way. So get yourselves a partner. There's enough for one each, so it shouldn't be a problem. There you go, Grace and Sienna, perfect. Right, number yourselves 1 and 2. Okay, we all know this game. We all know this game. It's partner tag. The area is the yellow cone. Across that line to the yellow cone, up to the yellow cone at the top, across to that yellow cone, and then down here. So we're going to stay in this area here. Okay? You've got number 1s. You've got 3 seconds to find a space away from your partner. 1. Grace, you've run out straight away. 2, 3. Off you go.
I went with a simple tag warm-up just to keep the kids moving, and it also gave me an opportunity to speak to a player who turned up late and go over the same things that I just mentioned to the group as a whole while they were able to stay active.
So we're just doing a quick warm-up, and then we're going to do, like we did last week, it's going to be all game-based, okay? So we're going to have some 2v2s on the go, and then we're going to change it to a different type of game. 10 seconds left. Oh, you've lost your hat, Zara. Stop there. Number 1s, go and get a ball. And who's the number 2 in that group? Okay, you get a ball as well, Grace. Okay, so this time, final round, rather than tagging the person, you're going to try and steal it off them. Okay? However, just say I'm with Charlotte, and you're going to let me get it now, Charlotte, and make me look good. but I get it and I kick it out, it's Charlotte's ball again. Okay? I'm looking to actually steal that ball and then dribble it and keep it myself. Okay? Alright, if you've got a ball, you've got 3 seconds to find the space. 1, 2, 3, off you go. Straight away, Isla.
I progressed the warm-up to include a ball each. As we were going for a game-based practice today, I was aware that players might not be getting as many touches on the ball as they normally do, so just including that in the warm-up was a way to combat that problem.
Is we're going to have a game going on in which both teams have got 2 goals to score in. So Brooke and Connie, come over here, you can start with the ball. Freya and Isla, you're going to start there, start with the ball. Now, Brooke, Connie, Isabel, take a step back please, so you're a couple of steps behind the white line, perfect. You can score in that goal or that goal there. Freya and Isla, you can score in that goal or that goal there. Okay? However, Charlotte and Isabel are going to be moving behind the goals. So that if you're coming towards this goal and Charlotte moves over and she's behind the goal, you can't score in there. Okay? So you have to react to what she's doing as well as the other team. Likewise, oranges, same with Isabel. She can block either of those goals. Okay? So girls, they're just going to give us a demonstration. Let's play. So you notice, girls, you notice how the 2 players are moving behind the goals? Yes, no? So they're blocking it. Oh, yeah, Charlotte didn't get there quick enough. 1-0 to the Pinks. Okay.
I gave the girls a few minutes in order to get used to the rules of the game. I didn't want to be stepping in and telling them this, that and the other. I just wanted to let them play, see what solutions they could come up with themselves without any input from me. One of the things that I wanted to include in this practice was a lot more individual coaching, so bringing a player to one side, speaking to them about something that's just happened, whether it was a positive, whether it was something they could do differently, in a question and answer form, so that the other players could carry on moving and each player was getting a little bit of individual attention, which I know they appreciate.
So when Brooke passed that ball to you then, right, and you went to pass it back, who else was in front of you? Yeah, and? Isla. So you had both defenders in front of you and you passed it back there. What might have been a better decision?
Pass it somewhere else.
Or?
Put it into a goal.
Okay, which goal do you think? Bearing in mind, everyone was over there, so what might have been the better choice?
Up there.
Turn and go for this one, yeah, because there was a lot of space here. Okay, so just try and keep an eye on where they're standing before you make that decision next time. Get back in and play.
There was some group stoppages in the practice, sometimes for a positive coaching point that I wanted to highlight, and I also stopped the group to speak to them about playing out from the back.
Okay girls, stop there a second. What was really good about that pass from Isla? Anything else?
It went
Went
right through
right through the 2 teammates, so when Freya got the ball, who was blocking her? No one really, the sweeper was half asleep. So the defenders were behind her, she had a free shot at goal. Great pass. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's switch the play around behind the goal. Everyone's going to get a chance, you've sorted it. Someone else instead of... That's it, good job keeping the ball. What do we do now, girls? Oh, post. Okay, girls, something I want to bring up, and I don't want to do too many stoppages today. Brooke, give me the ball. Right, I was really happy that Izzy decided to keep the ball by using Brooke there. Oh, all right, really nicely done. So you stand there, Brooke. So, that ball goes back. After that ball goes back, what do you think my first thought should be? Where?
Away from the
Not necessarily the nearest goal.
away from the mark your place so
Okay, where? What space? In what area?
near the goal and away from the defender.
Okay. But if I just run forward, what's the problem? Because think about it, why did Brooke pass back? Because she was being marked and there was players in the middle. So where's our best movement now? We've passed it. It's that wide movement we've been talking about since we first started here. Now if Brooke decides to choose me again, great, I'm wide open and I've got time to turn and go forward. If Charlotte decides to mark me and Isabel goes wide as well and Freya decides to mark Isabel, brilliant, now there's a big gap. Mark, yes, I love it. And we've got that pass through the middle, okay? So just something to think about, girls. If you pass that ball back, think about how you're going to create that space for yourselves to get the chance to attack. Okay? Sorry for the stoppage. Let's play on. Love that, love that. Yes, great ball, great run as well, Isabel. That's it.
After speaking to the girls about making the pitch wide when the ball went back to the sweeper, they started doing it almost instinctively, and a lot of different opportunities were opening
Well
up.
done, Connie, good reaction.
The defenders were splitting and they were seeing an opportunity to play through the gaps and put their teammate into a position where they had a better goal scoring opportunity. That was really pleasing, especially as we discussed it with one of the players earlier in the practice, doing it and highlighting that positive coaching point. One of the other things they recognised was the sweeper had an option to dribble out from their area into the space that was in front of them if the defenders were splitting, and their teammate would then move into the position to cover them. This was really good position rotation without me saying that's something they could do or something I was looking for. They were doing it instinctively, something that's really going to benefit them in games in terms of keeping their shape while at the same time being hard to mark.
Right, girls, what we're going to do now, instead of playing that way, we're going to be playing that way. Okay? And you've only got the one goal to score in. Now, we're going to do something, kind of. This is what is called, or what I used to call, rush goalkeeper. Okay? So the goalie can come out, but it's like we were just doing with the sweepers. Just say, right, Isabel, come here. Sit, right? Me and Isabel are on the same team. Stay there. And I'm the goalie. All right, and I see an opportunity to go forward and the ball comes to me, but then we lose it. Who's closest to the goal? So Isabel can get back and cover me as the new goalie. All right.
What was really pleasing to see was that when we went into the 2-goal game at the end, the players were still making the same movements, they were still prepared to play back to the rush goalkeeper, and they were still seeing the opportunities to play a pass through the gap to their teammate and get themselves into an advanced position.
So I've just got home from the session and I'm absolutely delighted with how things went tonight. Bearing in mind that the girls haven't played other than one practice last week for the last 3 months, I thought the quality of play, the way they took things on board, the way they picked up certain things in terms of their movements off the ball, as well as their decision making and their ball mastery, the confidence to try and beat players, the confidence to use different parts of the foot to keep the ball away from players, and then being prepared to pass back to the goalkeeper and allow themselves the opportunity to move into a more preferable space to get the ball back and then create an attack out of that was absolutely fantastic. From a personal point of view, I'm happy with how the coaching went. I stopped the game a couple of times, maybe talked a tad too long. That's something I really need to get out of the habit of. But for the most part, I let the game flow. well, both games flow, should I say. Also, the individual coaching seemed to really work. I thought the girls took to that. They were really happy with that little bit of individual attention that was personal to them. So it's really going to help them develop as individual players as well as the collective when I spoke to the group as a whole. I'm really excited about how next week is going to work. I'm going to continue with this games-based approach as I think it's something that they're really going to benefit from.